Hi guys, this is Tara with Gaia Tarot 13, and this is your weekly tarot card forecast for September 23rd through September 29th, 2018. As always, I'm going to pull three cards from the tarot deck. One for your work and financial life, one for your love and romantic life, and one for your home and family life. Get going here, a couple more. Doesn't want to go yet. Oh, now it does. In your work and financial life, we have the Three of Pentacles upright. And this is you getting gainful employment if you do not have any. Last week, I think we were talking about being done with your job and maybe moving on to a different job. Maybe you just up and quit without something else in the works. And if you did, then this is you getting a job this week or getting an interview this week or, working towards some sort of gainful employment. If it doesn't solidify this week, then this is you walking the right path to get that opportunity. Some of you may have left your jobs, not to imply that all of you left your jobs, but some of you may have left your job last week with something else already lined up, and this would be you starting that new job this week. As far as finances, so again, I don't think everyone left their jobs last week, but just being like done with it. So this to me is reading as like, all right, maybe things are recovering. You've went and you've talked to that person that you weren't working well with or the higher up or something like that. And, you've resolved whatever issue was going on last week. This is you reaching out to another person and kind of fixing that issue, or at least working towards fixing that issue. Again, we don't just fix things overnight, right? Everything's a process. So this is kind of like you've put things in motion for that to happen. Back to what I started to say, as far as finances, I'm kind of seeing this as like a slight gain. So you might have some money coming in, but like, because these little three pentacles on the top are sticking out to me as like, receiving some money, receiving some coin. But it's not going to be like an influx. It's just like maybe a little bit of a raise. So if it's tied back into that situation from last week where you had some trouble, and maybe this week you're going to your higher up and you're like, I'm not trying to tolerate this. Like, I'll find a different job. I don't need to put up with things like this. This is maybe your employer giving you a little bit of incentive to stay around, or if you did already have something, maybe an offer or something lined up, this is you leveraging that other offer to either stay where you are to get more money. If you're not using it to leverage more money where you're at, then leaving, in line with the card last week, leaving where you were and making more money at your new job. But I don't see that it's going to be like a huge increase. It's going to be just like a little bit more than you were making. In your love life, we have the Death card reversed. I know everyone hates the Death card, and they're afraid of the Death card. The Death card, and maybe it's because I'm a Scorpio, but the Death card and like the Tower are my favorite cards of the deck, because that is like no more being done. Just, someone told me once, when you're done, you'll just be done. And it didn't make sense to me at the time, but if you've ever experienced that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. One day you just decide that you're done, and you're just done. This is the Death card in reversed. This is you not letting something be done. It's past its time, and someone needs to just cut the cord, and no one's doing it. Maybe staying in a super dysfunctional situation just because it's safe, because it's known, because even though it's not great, it's what to expect. And people don't really like to not have predictability in their life. They want to be able to see, and sometimes the fear of the unknown is worse than whatever unhappy situation you're currently in. And I see a little bit of that tied into this. You're carrying on with something from the past that you need to have, it's long surpassed its time to be done, and you need to just be done with it. what happens, it's been my life experience, and of course, everyone's different, but I have seen time and time again through myself and through my readings that if you let the death card reversed linger long enough where something needs to leave your life and you're hanging on to it, you're hanging on to it, you're hanging on to it, and you're not letting it leave, you're gonna get the tower. You're gonna get where it's just pulled from you because the universe is giving you a chance to do it yourself. You're not doing it, and it's just gonna be taken from you, however that is. So my advice with the death card reversed in your love life is to let go of whatever you need to let go of. Partnerships, romantic partnerships, business partnerships, roommate partnerships, any sort of something in your life that's not healthy, that if you have something just pop in your mind right now as I'm speaking about this and you know exactly what I'm talking about, that's the thing. You need to let it go. In your home life, we have the Six of Wands upright. And this is you just plowing forward into something new, having left something behind that you succeeded at. So like maybe you went into something and you weren't quite sure how it was going to turn out. It turned out in your favor, and now you're kind of like flying high from it. You're like, you know what? I didn't know I could do that, and I can, and I'm really excited that I could do that. And I just had a very specific instance. So this is going to be for some of you out there. Like, I'm thinking about like building a bookshelf. That's what just came to me. Like, because it's in your home section. So like maybe someone undertook that task. Now, if you're like me and that's just like do it yourself and here's all the panels and they're labeled with letters and you just got to screw it together and that's your deal, that's fine. But what I'm getting is really like someone going out and like buying the wood and like doing the whole thing from scratch and like cutting the pieces and making sure they fit and like beveling the edges. Or I'm very clearly not someone who does that, so I have no idea what it's called, so sorry if my language is inappropriate for that. But like making things smooth on the side and making sure that all fit, and you just build it from scratch and you see it, the finished product, and you're like, this is amazing. I didn't know I could do that. I'm so excited that I can do that. And it kind of gives you the incentive to try another thing or to like undertake another task because you know that you can be successful at that now. That's like the kind of thing. And of course, again, very specific example. So it's probably for like one of you out there, or one of you knows someone and is that message. But that's the general idea of this. That's kind of however you experience it in your life, that's what you're going to be feeling this week. A sense of accomplishment and enthusiasm for continued success based on that prior accomplishment, where maybe at first you were kind of sketchy on whether or not you'd be able to be successful in that venture. You were, and keep going on it. That's what we've got this week. Thanks so much for watching. Thanks for liking, sharing, and subscribing to my YouTube page. If you want to get a personal reading, the only way to do so is through my website, which is GaiaTarot13.com. Be sure to follow me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Tumblr, where I pull a card every day, reading the energy of that specific day. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and we will see you next time.